Welcome back for your first helping of oysters, clams, and Carol, presented by Bolin Media. I am Ross Bolin here with Barrett Dudley to discuss and review the series premiere of Vince Gilligan's new show, Pluribus, on Apple TV. How are you, Barrett?
I'm great. Happy to be here representing every single person in the world.
We are all one.
We are all one.
And the same.
Yes, we is us.
We is us, Barrett. We is us.
I'm good. I had to watch the last 90 seconds of the episode this morning, given that Pluribus broke the internet last night.
Yeah, rough launch here.
Yeah,
for Apple TV.
You know, they weren't expecting the masses to be hitting the platform like they were last night, and Apple TV, as many people were noting on social media, just completely crapped out last night.
I mean, completely.
Yeah.
You couldn't watch anything on Apple TV.
That's right.
I was going from app to app, testing it out. Like, well, does HBO work? Like, restarted my Apple TV device multiple times.
Tried it on mobile, you know?
Tried it on my phone. Tried everything.
Yeah.
No, completely crashed Apple TV. So for those of you who didn't watch this until Friday, you're completely unaware of this because it's now working again. Mm-hmm. But it does seem they drove so much traffic to the platform that it crashed.
Who's to say, right?
Could be coincidental.
That is what I'm going with, because 60 minutes in, I do think we have a hit on our hands.
I do agree.
I think the show is going to be big, and that's where we're at last night. Did you have to watch in the morning? Did you have to watch this morning?
Yeah, I couldn't watch it all last night.
Yeah,
I was sitting there in bed waiting for my wife to get one of our kids to sleep.
Uh-huh.
And finally, I was like, she must have passed out in there. So I started it. 6 minutes in, the audio continued.
Yes,
but the visual just froze.
Yes.
And for about 30 seconds, I was like, ooh, this is a cool effect.
Well, so this happened to me while the dude is talking to her through the TV at the end of the episode.
Oh, really?
And so I was just like, oh, they're doing a thing where like he doesn't even have to move his mouth and like the words are still coming through.
So it happened to me at patient 0, who I believed is named Jen. Right after she gets bit by the rat.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, they're doing a thing.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait a minute, I think my TV's broken. So yeah, that was kind of a bummer. It is interesting. It does make me wonder if it was because of how many people tuned in for Pluribus. Mm-hmm. That feels unlikely, but it does play well for Apple TV because I don't know if you saw this, but people on social media, you know, on X/Twitter in particular, were on there freaking out. What's happening? Is my TV broken? Is everyone's TV tweeting at Apple like, get your shit together.
Right.
So I think it actually worked for marketing.
It might have. And I'm a little, you know, I guess this is just par for the course for Apple, right? Like, we've seen them do massive launches before and put a lot of money into marketing.
Severance.
Mostly what I'm thinking of is Severance Season 2. Maybe that's the only good example. But like a lot of the other stuff, like the buzz on this show leading up to the new show from the creator of Breaking Bad has been pretty minimal. I mean, right? Like they're just like letting this thing come out and do its thing,
word of mouth work.
And I think it's going to work for them. Like I think in the long run, they're going to be just fine with this. But it is a little bit surprising that there hasn't been a little bit more of a press for this in the way that there was for Shogun, for example, on FX, which is another. I feel like that's the last time that I can remember that a show came out. We kind of had it pegged to the board as like a potential. We rolled the dice on it, and it was huge. But they were doing Super Bowl commercials for Shogun, right. So like they put the weight of the Disney Corp behind it, and Apple is not doing that for the new Vince Gilligan show as of yet.
No, and I mean the whole approach they took to marketing this series before launch was pretty interesting.
Yeah,
it was. Again, the word I would use is minimal.
Right.
It didn't give you much to go off of with the teasers and then the quote-unquote full-blown trailers.
Which, after watching episode 1...
You know why.
I'm pretty glad that they didn't give too much away.
Yeah, and frankly, if you go watch the trailer now after seeing episode 1, it makes a lot more sense. Because you know what's happening to a certain extent. But yeah, it was an interesting launch last night with Apple TV crashing. New Apple TV logo, by the way, as they've rebranded from Apple TV Plus to Apple TV, which I am very happy about. The only issue being that there is now Apple TV, the subscription service, and then Apple TV, the hardware that you purchase.
Yeah, I wish they had just left the plus because that was the differentiator.
Hate the plus, though, for like Googling and hashtagging and social media use.
Okay.
And there's Disney Plus, and it just continues to amuse me how the streaming world struggles with their branding so much. Of course, the most famous example being HBO. HBO Max,
HBO Go, HBO Now.
Back to HBO Max, so. But yeah, it's out now. And we will be releasing our companion podcasts on Monday moving forward. Speaking of which, I didn't know they were releasing episodes 1 and 2.
I didn't really realize that either, yeah.
I didn't see that written anywhere. I don't know if that was maybe a surprise or not, but we're only doing episode 1 today. We will be doing episode 2 on Monday. So tune back in on Monday for that. Pluribus starts with a countdown, 439 days and change. And then we're looking at a shit ton of satellites. We meet some scientists who discovered some code or message that's being beamed down from outer space. They bring in a whole buttload of other scientists to try and figure out what the signal is communicating or crack the code. We find out it's being sent from 600 light years away.
Yeah.
It's repeating every 78 seconds, and we get a visual of it. And it looks like, to me, it looked like a DNA sequence. Once they crack it out into, when that one lady is like, "Ooh, there's 4 codes."
So wow, you picked up on the DNA thing right away.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, pretty quickly.
Yeah. It's because you had just seen one battle after another, huh?
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
No, it reminded me of a Jurassic Park when they first get to Jurassic Park and they go on they have the presentation with the DNA, animated DNA.
The beaming and the receiving of said beam by a satellite, very reminiscent of Three-Body Problem.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yes.
That's kind of how that alien invasion, spoiler alert, I guess, starts. Not really.
It's not really a spoiler,
the
yeah.
First couple episodes. So that was very reminiscent of that. I was picking up on a lot of different things throughout this episode, and I'll continue to name things that it reminded me of. But this first 10 minutes, I was just like, oh yeah, Vince is cooking, man. Like, this is all so good. The way they do the little framing in the trailer and more people start showing up. Laura mentioned, my wife, that felt almost Wes Anderson-y.
A little bit, yeah.
With the kind of box frame that continues to like change.
Quirky.
It was a little quirky, but this was all, we were just like, I felt like we were cooking with gas immediately.
Yeah, it feels like the scenes in this kind of cold open might be important later.
Later, yes.
Right? Because there is a bunch of detail that is provided that, in the scope of this episode might be relatively irrelevant.
Yep.
But long term, I imagine Carol's maybe going to try to figure out what the hell happened here. So this stuff like 600 light years away, repeating every 78 seconds, it might matter more. Also, before I forget, I did jump on the DNA sequencing thing pretty quickly, but you just put another thought in my head mentioning that it's being beamed in from outer space. It's like ejaculate. Like the aliens are penetrating and putting DNA into to the humans in the world.
Yeah.
Sorry for the use of that word. I could have gone another route, but we're here now and it's too late. So then we've got 2 scientists playing catch with a football, as scientists are known to so often do. When one of them says he thinks he knows what the signal is, and I think that's when it clicked for him that this is a DNA sequence. It's not a quad code or whatever they called it.
I guess to be very clear, because if anybody's screaming at their radio, it's an RNA sequence.
RNA, yes.
But that's very...
You're right.
Similar, obviously, because it's like changing it's related to DNA.
Yeah, it's doing genetic modification.
Yeah, exactly.
And we find specifically the guy at the very end, the political figure on the TV, is the one that tells us
correct.
It's RNA.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, originally they think it might be binary, and then they split it out, and that's when they see that it's actually quaternary, which I'd never heard of before, but
never heard that word. Yeah, that's a new one for me.
And then he's talking about how why would it be quaternary? Like if you're beaming this message out into space, you want it to be easy for some other intelligent civilization to like pick up and decode, basically.
Yeah, why make it as complex as that?
As complex as quaternary, and then he realizes what it probably is.
Yeah. So next we fast forward to 71 days and change on our countdown, and we see a very, very Vince Gilligan scene of the scientists what we now know, they're synthesizing it. They're synthesizing something, right? But the way it goes around that lab, just felt very Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. Like he has a specific visual style that he uses, Vince. It's very effective. It's very engaging and entertaining. And again, I would also call it quirky. Mm-hmm. But it's got these scientists in this lab seemingly testing it on like rats, right? And from there, we bounce to a completely different setting. It's an author.
You got to gas the rats.
Yeah.
It's tough.
R.I.P. rats.
Yeah.
We jump to a completely different setting with an author, Carol Sturka, who is reading her latest romance novel to a crowd of horny women. It's called, the book is titled Blood Song of Waikaro, at a Barnes & Noble. Doing a book reading at a Barnes & Noble.
In Dallas.
Yeah.
Barnes & Noble in Dallas.
Yeah. She's doing a book signing after the fact, and we get a lot of humor inserted here.
Yes.
The show is clearly going to include a lot of comedy, funny moments, as has Vince Gilligan's prior to huge hits. So one freak brings a sword for her to sign, and then Carol's driver picks her up to take her to the Hyatt Regency Dallas, and we find out Carol thinks her own writing is mindless crap. She really dumps on her own work here, and then this woman that's with her that seems to be like her agent or her manager holds her hand and comforts her, and it's the first time you get a clue that maybe they also have a personal relationship. They could be lovers.
That's correct. Helen is played by Miriam Shore, who some of you may know from the excellent series Younger.
Oh.
She's Diana Trout, legend, queen.
Okay.
That's for my younger heads out there. Yeah, I loved her in this role. Yes, and my wife did not pick up on this because she was like, "What? Women can just be friends." And obviously, she sometimes accuses us of jumping to lesbian relationships.
Yeah, we're always right.
Far too quickly.
We're always right, though.
And I said, no, I get it, but it's the hand holding here. First, they do the wide frame, and you see what's the main character's
Carol.
You see Carol reach over, and you're like, okay, she needs a little comfort from her manager, who's also her friend. And then the camera shows us their hands, and they're kind of doing the.
And they grip harder.
They grip in like a little bit of like a
It gets intimate.
Yeah, it's intimate. It's not just a friend grab.
No.
It's a little bit more touchy feely, and the camera lingers on their hands. That's the sign. That's
yes.
They're involved.
Very much so.
Yes.
Yeah. Gaydar was going off like crazy. So next, our countdown is at 29 days and change. Remember, it's counting down.
Yeah.
And we are with the scientists testing the sequence on rats. We got a scientist lady named Jen, who her gloves are too thick, Barrett. She's got two sets of gloves on.
I can't do anything with these dang old gloves.
She's got two sets of gloves like Harry and Dumb and Dumber. So she's got to take off the thicker set of gloves so she can better...
The protective one, yeah.
She can better tend to what seems to be a dead rat.
Yeah.
But alas, that rat was playing dead.
It was
playing possum, if you will.
Yeah, it was.
It was sleeping, simply sleeping. And she gets bit. She has some kind of seizure. Everybody has a weird seizure after they get infected by this thing. Mm-hmm. And her scientist buddy is freaking out trying to save her, and she seems to like snap out of it and just smile kind of pleasantly. Jen is patient zero. So this is patient zero right here. This thing that the aliens or whoever is beamed in from outer space that they have put into the rats has now been transferred from the rat to the human via bite.
Yeah. So she's human patient zero. Because obviously they're doing this to the
animals?
To the animals, right?
Yeah. Yes, 100%. Yeah, but only the humans get to be patient zero. You can't have an animal patient zero, can you?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. All right. This has me thinking now, because I guess were all the rats a hive mind? Does this go species by species?
It's a very good question. Was that rat strategically playing like it was asleep so that she would handle it in such a way that it could bite her?
I think for sure on that one.
Yeah. Smart rat.
Yeah.
Real smart rat.
Anyway, that's a good question. Yes, continue.
So Jen kisses a soldier at a vending machine and spreads it even further. Kissing seems to be the way they want to pass this thing around.
Yeah, but do you think they're going to call this thing the kissing bug?
I don't know.
Yeah. I also want to note the second scene in the lab, once we start doing the bite and all that, So Vince Gilligan, prior to Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, was like one of the main writers on several seasons of the X-Files.
Yes.
Famously. Started picking up some X-Files vibes here because Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, very real world stuff, no sci-fi at all. And so he's kind of going back to like some of his original, some of his kind
early
of
stomping grounds.
His early stomping grounds here with the subject matter. And when she starts convulsing and doing the shakes and the hand wash thing there, I was like, oh, I think we might get a little spooky in this episode.
And we did. Indeed we did. Yeah, most definitely. So around this point in the episode is where I'm picking up like, okay, it seems like aliens sent the sequencing for happiness down to Earth, like as a virus. The show was marketed as Carol has to save the world from happiness. Right. Because again, they didn't want to give too much away. But by the end of the episode, the question is really like, is this happiness or is this like mass brainwashing? And we'll get to the end when we get to the end. But all the infected people start working in the lab together to do the sequencing. Like more and more people keep coming in. A lot of them are soldiers, right? Another very cool scene there.
Very cool scene, yes. I mean, can you imagine just like, okay, again, one of the things here in this very first episode, this is just like top tier filmmaking. You know what I mean? The shots are so well chosen. They're specific. They mean something. They're creative. Like there's several of them. But that just think about what it takes to do that top-down camera shot and then have all 10 of your actors so well trained and coordinated that you're just nailing that little like that swab pass.
Yeah, it's like synchronized swimming.
Dude, incredible stuff. Such a cool shot.
Yeah. So eventually the sequence, the code seems to get into the clouds through like airplane chemtrails. Okay. When they're outside
That's what
that
all the
bar,
jets are doing, yeah,
and she's
yeah.
looking up like, it's interesting that all the chemtrails left by these planes and jets are parallel. And so somehow they got the sequencing in visual form in the clouds, and that's when everyone gets infected. So it stops being passed mouth to mouth, and it seems to get passed through just visual through the sky or something.
Okay, because that's how
Helen
gets it.
Yeah,
is because she looks up and sees it.
I believe so, but for some reason Carol is immune.
Okay.
Now, how it gets everybody in the bar when they're not outside looking up at the clouds, I'm not sure about. Obviously, we're going to have questions about how the whole planet gets infected.
That was a question for me is, wait, how did everybody just suddenly get infected in the bar? That's right. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it was what was going on up there with the clouds.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, good note.
Carol's manager, partner, friend, lover, Helen, collapses. So it's like a zombie show. It's like a zombie apocalypse, except with like happiness, friendly zombies.
100%. Yes. And that's where I was like kind of glad to not know much going in. Because about this point in the episode, that's exactly what you're saying to yourself. You're like, oh, okay, this is a zombie show.
But a remix.
Yes.
Like a new angle here.
And we're not going to be like eating brains and like, we're not going to be dead people basically.
Yeah.
We're going to be normal people, functioning people, but weirdos now because we is us.
In a strange hive mind,
And now there's a strange hive mind happening. But yeah, so there's some elements of Last of Us most recently here. And absolutely this is where we kind of start getting more and more into the horror genre here for this particular episode.
Yeah, when she's going into the bar and sees everybody tweaking out and like one guy's keeled over in a pile of blood, dead. Some other people are doing the shaking thing. Like everybody seems to be in a different state of frozen, like they're downloading the mass consciousness.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
It's real weird. It's weird. It's like part of it feels like human consciousness has been hacked.
Right.
By this virus that's been sent in from outer space.
Do you remember when Ray Sremmer did Black Beatles? And the video and the it was pre-meme, but the meme was like the bit the viral thing was to like everybody would freeze.
Oh yeah, wow, what a throwback!
That's what this reminded me of, especially in the bar scene where everybody is like
stopped suddenly.
very in like, one, she's holding the beers, but her neck's all craned weird.
Yeah.
And then like the chick at the bartender's got the phone. So everybody's like, mid-act.
Right.
The band, they're on the drum, the drumstick drops. Like, again, really, really cool shots here. Terrifying. This was terrifying. This was really, really freaky deaky.
Super creepy.
And then, again, like something that we kind of like figure out as the show goes on. Helen drops. She hits her head real hard on the pavement. She falls right on her head. That's what kills her.
Oh.
And I think that's what you
think so?
Yeah, I think that because this kind of like freezes you in a way.
While it's like, quote unquote, installing is the way I'm looking at it.
Like if you're doing something dangerous,
you could
like
be in
driving
danger.
Or flying a plane or whatever else it might be, like, you're suddenly, and you just get cut off. Like that's why so many people died. That's why the city's on fire, right? Because like
accidents are happening as a result of
a bunch
this.
of shit just stopped in the middle of it having done.
Oh, yeah. This was one of my big questions from the episode.
Yeah,
Why are some people dying?
I think it's because they were mid dangerous activity.
So it's circumstantial. It's not that some people are perhaps, built in a way that that this is bad for them or it kills them or whatever. Like, the reason it had me questioning it is because you know how like 0.00001% of the population or whatever like can't get certain vaccines or shots or whatever.
Right.
It was like that. Like, well, some people are going to die. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that makes more sense.
The virus infects some people in a bad way, and they die. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
I think it was more circumstantial, though.
All right. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
Yep.
This message is sponsored by Raycon. Keep your ears open and your holiday playlists rolling with Raycon's essential open earbuds. These open earbuds let you stay connected to your surroundings while enjoying your favorite music, podcasts, or calls. Perfect for a jog, your commute, or just kicking back. And this Black Friday and Cyber Monday, you can save up to 30% on all Raycon audio products. Raycon's essential open earbuds keep your ears open while still delivering crystal clear sound. They sit just outside your ear canal so you can stay tuned in to traffic, coworkers, or whatever's happening around you without losing out on music or podcast quality. Lightweight and all-day comfortable. They never feel bulky, and the secure fit means they stay put, whether I'm at the gym, out on a walk, or grinding through my to-do list. Here's the kicker. Raycon delivers the same premium audio quality as the big brands, but at half the price. Add in over 3 million happy customers and a 30-day happiness guarantee. And there's zero reason to overpay. These days, I feel like everybody has the same old boring headphones. Raycon gives you more style, more flair, and a perfect fit for your ears. I've been wearing mine for a couple of weeks now. They're just as good, if not better than my old shit. So if you're in the market, I highly recommend them. A couple of features that make them my everyday go-to. Open ear design, breathable fit, delivers comfort, safety, and immersive audio while keeping you aware. I've got 2 small kids at home and 4 dogs. It's necessary that I hear things as they are occurring in my home. So I love these open ears for that. Multi-angular hook, rotating ear hook ensures a secure, personalized fit for any activity. They're lightweight, ultra-light, with a flexible ear hook that adapts to any ear for all-day comfort and awareness. Multi-point connectivity, connect to multiple devices and switch seamlessly without hassle. 36 hours of battery life, 8-hour earbuds plus a 36-hour case equals days of nonstop listening. Black Friday is around the corner. Raycon audio products are up to 30% off site-wide. From everyday essentials to the latest releases, it's the perfect time to upgrade your sound or get ahead on gifting. These early deals won't last long. Shop now before they're gone. Go to buyraycon.com/oystersopen to save on Raycon audio products site-wide. That's buy, RAYCON, buyraycon.com/oystersopen. See link and details in the description of this episode. So Carol loads her manager, Helen, into the back of a truck she has to steal because her car had a breathalyzer in it.
Oh, yeah.
It was an interesting point. Shout out to everybody who's ever had a breathalyzer in your car. Very embarrassing stuff. I did in college. So she drives toward the city and she sees fires and explosions everywhere. It's like mass chaos, right? A cop car flipped over, people passed out, seizing everywhere. She gets to the hospital. Everyone at the hospital is infected and stalled out there as well, frozen up. Carol has to load her manager, Helen, onto a crash cart herself. But just as she's going to do that, Helen wakes up, just for a moment, smiles, and then dies.
Yeah.
Which is weird as far as our theory on, like, the head injury thing goes. So I don't know what to make of that.
Yeah, okay.
Carol tries to do CPR, but Helen is gone. They were indeed lovers at this point. It's kind of confirmed because Carol calls Helen baby.
Yeah.
And then Carol looks up, and everyone in the hospital is now moving around suddenly. The install has ended. The dude whose truck she stole sits up and exits the truck. Everyone exits the hospital en masse. It's like they're all hypnotized to do the same thing, right? Carol tries to talk to a doctor and ask what's happening. The doctor kisses her, but it has no effect on Carol. Two randoms try to take Helen out of the back of Carol's truck. We just want to help, Carol. They all speak in unison, which is never not creepy. Carol gets in the stolen truck, speeds away from the hospital. Of course, she's got Helen in the back still. At one point, she's driving through the city, and you see a blue car pull up. The people in the car get out. They pick someone up, and
who seems to be hobbling,
who's having trouble, and they put that infected person into the car and drive away. And it was weird because at first I was like, "Ooh, those are some non-infected people." Like grabbing somebody and getting them out of there. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, wait, no, I think that's one of the people who, like Helen, the virus seems to have had a negative impact on, and they're like taking them to go and see if they can work on them or save them.
Maybe, yeah.
Because those two people were trying to take Helen, I assume, for the same purpose.
Right.
This is where it gets a little, I'm like, I don't know if I can all the way buy into the people are just falling down injured thing.
Got it.
I think there might be some genetic issues for some folks.
Okay, yeah.
And the virus doesn't take all the way.
Very possible, yeah.
Something like that.
Yep.
Carol gets back to her house with Helen in the cab of the truck still, drags her body up to the front door, doesn't have the keys to the house, tries to break in with a large rock. Piss poor effort. She's just like, like just barely hitting it up against the door.
It was the one thing in this entire episode that like rubbed for me.
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing, Carol?
I don't know. She wasn't even hitting the doorknob.
No.
She's hitting the dead
You're
center
just
of this.
picking up one like pretty small rock and like barely like punching the middle of your front door?
Yeah.
I thought she was gonna. There was like windows on the side. I thought she was gonna break one of the windows with that thing and do the reach around.
What's the Apple? What's the Apple TV show with Rebecca Ferguson called?
Silo?
It's the opposite of Rebecca Ferguson. Everything she does in Silo, she's literally giving her whole body to that violence.
Yeah.
Like when she's trying to open a door, she's like breaking an arm trying to do it.
This was the Zoolander mining scene.
Yes.
Like,
Or when he puts the rock into the... Yeah. No idea why she didn't put a little more force into that effort.
It was very strange. You're never going to break the door down like that, Carol.
No, it would take 10 years, just chipping away little by little.
So that was strange, but that was the only thing. Really.
Yeah. Fortunately, her infected neighbors come over and tell her there's a spare key.
Yeah.
We can show you. We don't mean to scare you, Carol. You're in no danger. We really do want to help. Remember April 2016, the last time you got locked out? You put a spare key under the flower pot. The one on the right, back there. So this is a crazy, creepy moment because it seems like the mass consciousness knows everything.
Everything about Carol, yeah.
Like, how would they know that?
Right. Very great question.
Unless it got it from Helen.
Definitely one of the big ones, yeah.
I think the mass consciousness probably got that info from Helen.
Downloaded it, yeah.
Yeah, right out of her brain there. Her whole neighborhood is infected. It kind of reminds me of the Thriller music video. Everybody comes out and is doing the zombie dance, you know? And they all come out and in unison they say, "We're sorry for your loss." And Carol at this point seems to be the only person not impacted by this alien mind control virus. The neighbors all get into their cars and drive away at the same time, like they've been called to service somewhere. And then a lawn service truck pulls up into the cul-de-sac and loads one of these, quote unquote, dead bodies into a trailer. So again, it seems like they're trying to fetch up all the people who have been, the install didn't take, and they're going to take them somewhere. So that is obviously one of the biggest questions from this episode. Why are some people like Helen and whoever these guys picked up in the lawn service truck either dying or experiencing some kind of medical issue as a result of this virus? You may have heard of HelloFresh. They are the number one meal kit in America, making home cooking easier with chef-crafted recipes and fresh ingredients delivered straight to your door. But this fall, they're serving up even more to love. This isn't the HelloFresh you remember. It's bigger. HelloFresh has doubled its menu. Now you can choose from 100 options each week, including new seasonal dishes and recipes from around the world. Dig into bigger portions that'll keep everyone satisfied. It's healthier. Feel great with an even healthier menu. Choose from 15-plus high-protein recipes each week with options like grass-fed ribeyes or lamb chops. HelloFresh now helps you eat greener with new veggie-packed recipes that have 2 or more veggies per dish. It's tastier. Get steak and seafood options delivered each week for no extra cost. Now with 3 times the seafood options. Savor the season with hearty fall recipes like classic beef chili or honey-glazed pork tenderloin. Discover new seasonal produce each week from leeks to broccolini to Italian eggplant and more. If you're like me, you find grocery shopping in preparation for cooking a meal to be a massive pain in the ass. HelloFresh takes the pain away and gives you step-by-step instructions for making delicious meals your people will be impressed by. I am not a naturally talented cook myself, just didn't get the genetics for meal making. So HelloFresh ups my game substantially, and for that I am forever thankful. Try new recipes from HelloFresh's Global Street Eats kitchen featuring local favorites from around the world. 91% of customers say they feel healthier eating with HelloFresh. 3 out of 4 parents say their kids eat more veggies with HelloFresh. HelloFresh is America's #1 choice for home cooking. The best way to cook just got better. Go to HelloFresh.com/OCC10FM now to get 10 free meals plus free breakfast for life. 1 per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only, varies by plan. That's HelloFresh.com/OCC10FM to get 10 free meals plus free breakfast for life. Link and details in the description of this episode. So, Carol goes and sits down on her couch, turns on her TV. Every channel seems to be down, right? Getting a lot of, what do they call that?
Yeah, static.
Static fuzz.
Fuzz.
Then she finds one channel that works, and she says, oh, fuck yeah, God bless America. It's C-SPAN. It's C-SPAN. And you got the White House podium up there.
It looks like the president is about to, like, maybe address the country.
Exactly,
like
yeah, address the nation. So White House podium, old white politician-looking man standing behind it. You kind of assume he's the president of the United States at first, right?
Of course you do, yeah.
Carol picks up her landline phone and pours herself a drink because there's a number on the screen.
He's a little too young to be the president, I guess.
Maybe.
He didn't look 85 years old. So
that's true. We only hire the extreme elderly at this point as our representatives. So there's a number on the phone, or a number on the screen. She picks up her phone, her landline, to dial the number, pours herself a drink. The man behind the podium answers. And she's having a conversation with this dude through her television. He says, "Hi, Carol. Thank you for calling. This must be so bewildering for you, so terrible. All the death and destruction you've witnessed tonight, especially Helen's passing. Please know none of that was intentional. You have our deepest condolences. And to say it again, you are in no danger. You are perfectly safe. Your life is your own. Please know that. Your well-being is of utmost importance to us. Completely up to you, of course, but you might want to stick close to home for the next few days. We've got a lot to clean up, and it may be distressing for you to see, but we will put things right. To that end, if we may be of assistance with Helen's remains," and she says, "Nope." And he's like, "Okay, if we can help you in any way, please let us know. We can deliver food, medicine, whatever you need. Just dial 0 day or night. You will want to call from a landline as all the cellular networks are down, but we are here for you. We feel like we're doing all the talking here. Are there any questions you might have for us, Carol? Anything at all?" And she's like, yeah, sure. I guess to start with, what the fuck is happening? It's an alien invasion, obviously, right? It's an alien invasion. And he's like, "Actually, no, it's not." She goes, "The fuck it isn't. You know my name. You know Helen's name. You're talking to me from my TV. Are you reading my mind?" He says, "No, absolutely not. We couldn't do that if we wanted to." She says, "Who is we? Why is everybody suddenly we?" He's like, we could continue this after you've had a good night's sleep." She's agitated, and he doesn't like that.
I liked she kind of gives one-word answers to some of the original stuff, and then when he finally tells her that she can ask questions, she kind of explodes. I like that. That was well done, well performed.
She asks, "Who is we?" He says, "We is us.
We is us.
Just us." She says, "Who the fuck is us?" He says, "Us. There are no aliens, not on this planet. We are, however, beneficiaries of extraterrestrial technology. 14 months ago, astronomers discovered a radio signal from 600 light years away. There's no telling how long it's been repeating, maybe throughout all of human existence. This signal, it's made up of 4 tones representing guanine, uracil, adenine, and cytosine. It's a recipe, it turns out, for a nucleotide sequence, RNA. Scientists have created this sequence in a lab. It is not a living thing per se. It is more akin to a virus, though it's not exactly that either. It's kind of a psychic glue capable of binding us all together. She says, so if you're not aliens, who am I talking to right now? Who are you? And his answer is fantastic. This particular individual? This is David Taffler, Undersecretary of Agriculture to Farm Production and Conservation. But you are currently talking to every person on Earth, including David Taffler. We're all one. She says, how does that work? He says, we don't know exactly. It just does. She says, can I talk to the president? He says, that individual passed away this evening, unfortunately, along with quite a few senior members of the United States government. David Taffler happened to be nearby and intact.
Intact.
And he was wearing a suit. So she's like, so you're in charge now? He says, no, nobody's in charge. Or everybody's in charge. Really, there's no such thing anymore. She says, but there's got to be others like me. He says, your situation is a rare one. There appear to be 11 other individuals like yourself. She says, in Albuquerque? He says, no, in the world. We have reached out to them. Like you, they are disoriented, understandably. Rest assured, Carol, we will figure out what makes you different so we can fix you, so you can join us. And she's like, you said my life was my own. He says, it is, 100%. She says, so what happens if I say no? She says, what happens when I say no?
Yeah.
Excuse me. And she says, Carol, once you understand how wonderful this is, Carol hangs up. They call back. They leave her a voicemail. Carol, hello? It's us. We're sorry we upset you, Carol. We only want to make you happy. She freaks out. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Turns off the voicemail. Countdown from 0 is now up to to 1 hour.
Yep.
Pluribus, roll credits. That's your episode 1. Mm-hmm. And if you somehow had the strength to not roll straight into episode 2, good for you. Good for you. Because it was really tempting, man. I almost did it. But I will save it for this weekend so that we can cover that one on Monday. So, yeah, hard to not feel good about the start.
Yeah.
This was a good, fun ride,
This was a really good, fun ride. It was very well crafted. Before we watched, you had sent me an Instagram that suggested the episodes ran about 15 million an episode. So they definitely they backed it well. 15 to 20 million is what the high end shows cost per episode now, but this puts it on that kind of tier 1 playing field.
Yeah.
Great performance by Ray Seahorn, who I loved in Better Call Saul. Really happy to see her get this kind of starring role.
She's fantastic.
She's fantastic in this. There was just a lot to like. It was spooky. It was scary. It was the setup is one that is really thought provoking. It's alien. It's sci-fi. It's horror. I'm not like a big enough film buff to know like what the themes and kind of style motifs of Alfred Hitchcock are. But for some reason, I want to say that a lot of this episode was kind of playing with those kind of like vintage shots or horror techniques, like a lot of like different angles.
Oh yeah,
you know, like a lot of unique camera angles. A lot of like, there was one when she pulls Helen into her home. We cut to a shot that's like in the house, and it's just like kind of like low, but it's pointed straight, and like the door opens, and we just kind of see like the mid portion of Carol's body kind of like scoot through the screen, basically.
Yes.
But we can't see her face, and we can't see her dragging Helen.
Yeah.
It was just one of those ones where it's like you can't. It's like we know what's happening, but you can't see all of it.
Right.
So it feels disorienting and probably even scarier than like if it was like, you know,
them just straight up showing you.
Yeah, like from a wide shot or something like that. So a lot of really cool, just stylistic flares in this episode as well that I think you just get from a team like the one that Vince Gilligan put together here. He didn't direct this episode, did he?
I'm not sure. I'll look it up.
Okay.
But again, no, I agree. It's if you've run back Breaking Bad recently, or like I finally finished Better Call Saul a few months ago. I was way behind. I fell a couple seasons behind. I finally got a window. I just powered through it. He did this in all those shows too.
Yeah. Yes.
There would be things that could otherwise maybe be a little boring. Mm-hmm. He would take literally an interesting angle on.
Yep.
As far as the cinematography of it all goes.
Yeah, totally.
And he loves that shit, Vince Gilligan. But yeah, let me look up the director. Overall, he's also just a fantastic storyteller.
Yes.
Like, he's very seasoned at this point.
Yep.
He knows exactly what he's doing and how to do it.
Yep.
And you feel that throughout the course of this series premiere. It's a fresh, like, original spin on things that we are into. Zombies, pandemics, viruses, mass hysteria.
Thank you for saying that as well. This is like a combination zombie contagion, viral pandemic, epidemic type situation.
Yeah.
Right? Like that we're
mixed with the extraterrestrial threat or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like he may have written and directed this one.
Okay. Yeah. And just for the those of you that didn't know exactly the science of RNA as compared to DNA like I do, think of DNA as the master blueprint for an organism, which stays safely in the nucleus, while RNA acts as a messenger that carries the instructions for a specific task out to the cellular machinery. So RNA is like is more of like it brings a message, right?
Right.
So that makes sense here. You probably also feel familiar with RNA to some degree because the COVID vaccines
mRNA.
are mRNA. And that's like a newfangled technology as far as vaccines go.
Right.
But that's what they're doing, right? They're bringing a message into your body. They're showing it something so that it can perform a task.
And again, it all feels very relevant.
Yep.
To our modern society.
Yeah.
But yes, just to confirm, Vince Gilligan wrote and directed this pilot premiere.
Yep.
I don't even know if you can call it a pilot. I'm pretty sure they gave him a deal for 2 seasons just off the rip. He directed the first 2 episodes of the season, so he'll also direct the one that we cover on Monday, not just We As Us. But yeah, spending $15 million episode, hitting all the right notes through the premiere. It's one of those water cooler shows too.
Totally.
Which works out great for us. Those are best for podcasting.
Yep.
There's
going to be a lot to talk about. There will be what I like here too is we bring up The Leftovers a lot as like a show where like the what occurs on the earth with like the disappearing of a quarter of the population or half the population or whatever it is. They kind of toy around with like what may or may not have occurred.
Yeah.
But what they care about is what is happening to the people that are left on Earth and how they deal with the fallout of that. And so I feel like we're going to get a little bit of that. There are obviously some very, very big questions here that are the mysteries, right? Why do some people die and some aren't? Where did this come from? What's 600 light years away? Who sent this? Why did they send this? What's happening with the,
what's the end game?
What's the end game? What's this hive mind thing all about? But also, it's just the setup is just cool from down on the ground level. Carol is now one of 11 people that isn't part of a hive mind. The world has essentially ended as she knows it. What does she do with that?
Where does she go from
Where does she go from there?
Are they going to eventually get her infected, or is her goal going to be to save infected people, to figure out a way to uninfect them?
Right.
Like they've got so many options, and it's tough to know if the show will go more the route of what HBO show did you just mention? Of Leftovers, where it's
very much like
that's not all that important to us.
All that important, but how does this play out? For Carol and the people on Earth that are part of or not part of the hive mind.
And just as when I watched The Leftovers, I am rooting for little column A, little column B.
Right.
Please both. Don't just leave us with no explanation for what the hell occurred here.
Yeah.
I also just think it's fascinating and relevant from the standpoint of like mass messaging and brainwashing. Because, just politically here in the United States, you have 50% of the population accusing the other 50% of the population of essentially being brainwashed. And it goes both ways.
Right.
And human beings being as susceptible as we are to messaging and tying that in with the genetic and scientific side of things with the RNA and sequencing or whatever, it all feels cool and fresh and also relevant and just a very original way of attacking a science fiction story.
I love the core question, right? Like when you think about like the greater good, right? That's a term that we toss around a lot when we think about politics or or policy or
Types of government.
or types of government, or literally just the actions of an individual. Like, there's stuff that's good for you. There's stuff that's for the greater good. That's good for everybody else, right? And so,
Individualism.
nobody has ever made like a real, true utopia happen, but that's an idea that people like to think about as well. And so, I just like the conceit and the question here as well. Like, is the key to happiness sharing? Knowing, truly experiencing literally everybody else's shit as well as your own.
Is it losing individuality?
Losing individuality, right? Yeah, exactly.
Which is the thing that, we as humans argue makes us the most special. That we have individuality and individual consciousness.
And especially in Western society, and I think America almost more than anywhere else. Like,
yeah, it's kind of our thing.
People, yes, very, very concerned with individuality, generally far more than they are concerned with any type of greater good.
Me, my, now. That's Dustin Hoffman and Hook.
So I just think that they're tackling a really cool question in a very cool way in the hands of a brilliant showrunner.
Last thing I want to talk about briefly. What does this mean for Apple TV? Let's assume the trend continues and this is a very, very good show.
Mm-hmm.
They now have Severance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think it's an argument at this point. That is the hottest sci-fi show on television.
Okay, yeah.
As far as quality and size of audience and critical acclaim and everything.
Mm-hmm.
They now have, and that's, Ben Stiller and a very talented cast and creative team behind it. And they now got Vince Gilligan.
Yep.
And they've got Pluribus.
Mm-hmm.
And you really only need about 3 to 5 really good shows going at once before you're in that like hollowed ground that HBO, occupied for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just think, from the entire app crashing aside, that it is a really, really big win for them. And people we've been talking about it. Many people who pay attention to the streaming space have been talking about how good of a job Apple TV has done with their programming over the last several years, and that they are in the top tier now, and they're competing with the likes of mostly HBO and FX.
Right.
But that was one of the things. I think it was the whole experience of watching it, including the new logo and the new branding for Apple TV, and then having this be this new show with one of the most beloved current TV creators and Vince Gilligan. And I was just like, oh, they're really doing it. They're really doing it. Apple TV keeps coming for the throne. They still have a bunch of other schlock on there.
Yeah. Sure.
But the more really high quality prestige TV shit they put out, the higher I will hold them in my heart. So feels like a big win for them. If they could send us some screeners
that would be in
return for my compliments,
that'd be sweet.
We will appreciate that. It will not make me biased. Just for the record.
No, sirree.
If there's a bad episode,
we'll say it.
We'll say it
right to your face.
But we could use those screeners if you're out there and you're listening.
It's really interesting to think about the landscape, especially given we may have touched on this for just a second a week or two ago, but the idea that Paramount is potentially the suitor for Warner Brothers is pretty gnarly. I don't think anybody that cares wants that to happen. And yet I think that consolidation and kind of the narrowing of all of these streaming services has been talked about for a long time, that's something that's going to happen. That there's just not room for 6 of these things to all exist.
There's like 12 of them now. It's crazy.
Right.
It's gotten completely out of control.
And so one of the things that a show like Pluribus makes me think about, and that I've thought about before, is like, if Warner Brothers is one of the ones and therefore HBO is one of the ones that's going to get folded into something, is Apple the best spot for it? Like, is that the cleanest marriage?
Yeah, probably.
Probably, because I can imagine a world where Apple is a little bit more of like the Max brand, if you will, takes on some of the stuff that's like maybe like a little glossier, a little more polished, a little starrier,
cinematic.
You get your Jennifer Anistons and your Brad Pitts and everybody else that they've worked with on stuff, like the giant A-listers, and that's kind of like your, that's your That's your glitzier, starrier stuff. But then you get the true HBO stuff that's more like Task, that's a little bit grittier and a little bit more character-driven and focused. And I don't know, it seems like that could work. Whereas the idea of Paramount taking it on and killing HBO in favor of Showtime or whatever, like I don't want that to happen.
Makes me want to light myself on fire.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's one of the things that I've just kind of been like toying around with.
Yeah, it's definitely something to keep an eye on. The news I've seen is that Warner Brothers has rejected multiple offers at this point from Paramount, and now like Amazon is in the mix.
Yeah.
Netflix is also in the mix.
Yep.
Comcast is also in the mix.
Yes.
So they've got a lot of suitors, and that's a big story in our realm where Warner Brothers ends up selling to.
Those types of executives, maybe not the type of people tuning in for our show, although they should. I hope that they take the Disney approach, acquiring Fox and FX. Disney owns FX, right? That's part of Hulu and Disney Plus and all that.
Right.
But they just left it alone. They don't mess with the branding. They don't mess with the branding. They didn't mess with the team. John Landgraf, who's been doing that for 25 years or whatever, is like still the guy making decisions at FX. They've let them cook. They've given them funds to do what they want and make great shows, and be that kind of arm of their brand, basically, of making that type of high quality, stuff. And so whoever gets Warner Brothers, because it feels like it's probably going to happen. I don't think we really want it to. I think that we kind of in the back of our minds hold out hope that they're able to just exist on their own, but it's probably not going to happen, especially with David Zaslav making the ultimate decision.
Zaslav!
Because he doesn't really seem to, speaking of guys that I don't really think care that much about the greater good, or art even, whoever gets it, just please don't fuck with it.
Leave it alone.
Just leave it. Let HBO cook and keep doing their own thing. Like that's why you'd be buying the brand in the first place.
Right.
I guess. I mean, Warner Brothers is on a heater at the box office for films as well. But like your crown jewel really
is it that you're getting out of that
is HBO.
Is HBO. Yeah. No. And to your point, I think that's why we like the idea of Apple being the one to somehow come up with Warner Brothers and fold them in, because I don't know who runs Apple Studios.
Right.
And I don't want to know. That's how it should work. It's like with the Cowboys.
Uh-huh.
Jerry Jones being front and center all the time and being a huge part of the brand is bad for the team.
Yeah. Yes.
Zaslav being in front of the brand all the time is bad for HBO.
Yeah.
I don't know who runs Apple TV. I don't want to know. I don't hear their names. I just want them to cook.
Mm-hmm.
Cooking feels ironic considering Vince Gilligan.
Yeah.
Anyway, Barrett and I will be back Monday for our discussion and review of Pluribus Episode 2. We have also just begun coverage of The Wire Season 2 on patreon.com/oysters, clams, cockles after wrapping up Season 1 of The Wire. Our coverage of The Wire is friendly to first-timers and rewatchers, completely ad-free, of course, as is everything on our Patreon page. You can subscribe on patreon.com/oysters, clams, cockles to watch The Wire with us and support our show and get those companion podcasts for every episode of The Wire Season 1. They're out already. I think we're 2 episodes deep into Season 2 as of this week. You also get access to our entire backlog of ad-free exclusive episodes on Patreon, of which there are hundreds at this point. So hit patreon.com/oysters, clams, cockles, support our show, and get more of it in exchange. Follow us on all the social media platforms. We are on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Facebook. Just search Oysters, Clams, and Cockles. You'll find us there. You can follow Barrett and I at Barrett Dudley on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at WR Bolin. I'm also Boss Rollin on Letterboxd. Support our sponsors for today. You can see the links and the details in the description of this episode for both of our sponsors. We appreciate our sponsors. The more y'all support our sponsors, the more our sponsors keep coming back, the longer the show can run. And that's all I've got.
Yeah, that's a good spot to wrap it up.
It is. I feel good.
We'll be back on Monday. Can't wait.
Huge win for us, man.
Yeah,
Every time we start coverage of a new show and the first episode is flaming hot.
Yeah, it feels good.
Brings me another level of energy in my life.
Yeah.
Until next time.
And to that end, tell your friends to watch Pluribus.
Get them on board.
If you're listening to OCC, you're probably like the media tastemaker in your group, right? In your circle of peers, coworkers, friends, and family. So tell them that Pluribus is the That's that hot new shit that everybody needs to get on.
Get them on board. We is
We is
us.
us.
We've all got to watch together.
Yeah.
You know? Until next time, remember, we only want to make you happy.